on our customer convenience. We don't want you to be inconvenienced. We don't want you to keep on coming to anniversary towers. We want you to be served even when you're in class. You can be able to be negotiating with Helb about your loan, which is delayed or whatever has happened on it. On financial sustainability and stewardship, we want to provide targeted and impactful financing. And that is why I was saying, for the vulnerable category, we have improved your upkeep from 13,600 to 18,600, if you're under the new funding model. That is impactful. We so think. Of course, we are improving. So by 2028, don't be surprised that number will be maybe about 50,000 if we get enough money. In regard to IDT, or innovation and digital transformation, we want to build a seriously robust fintech ecosystem for service delivery. That ecosystem we are building on fintech is nothing but to give you a good customer experience in terms of service. And on our people and GRC, we are looking at people empowerment. Our people, how they serve you, they are fully empowered, they are excited to serve you, but also we will have an eye on governance, risk, and risk optimization and compliance across the organization. Now, looking at each of the pillar and the strategic objective, on the customer obsession pillar, we want to enhance our customer effort score, what is called says, by about 5%. Last year we closed at 66%. We want by 2020 to close at about 71%. And that's a huge move from a customer effort score perspective, because it measures, it's a combination of many things that you are measuring beyond even the customer satisfaction survey that has been there hitherto. It's a combination of many others, like NPS, and you put all of them together, and then you see how you're improving. On financial sustainability, again, as we said, the strategic objective is to providing targeted and impactful funding. And one of the key things we are looking at is enhancing our student budget. For example, last year, our student loan budget was 15.9 billion. That is what we gave the year ending 2023 in June. We want to grow it by 2028. It should be about 133 billion. This year only it is about 135 billion. So we are on the road in terms of achieving that 133 billion. Now, on loan recoveries, and that is where you play a big hand, for us. And we will be discussing later about the portfolio at risk in TVET. It is actually extremely worrying us. The university one is doing well, but this one we are getting challenged. The university one overall we are doing at about 73% in terms of performing portfolio. The TVET one, we are doing very badly. It is at 25%, which means even if you want them to achieve this growth annually, then the TVET graduate must play a bigger role in terms of paying us back. We have done a small simulation on the problem of TVET, on why we are doing that, we are performing at 25%. And what has come through is some of the TVET students, principals and registrars you're actually churning out are not finishing school. So they will come, if it is a mason, once they know how to mix the cement and how to apply it, which is the first year, they leave school and they start earning. As we are waiting for them to fund them again, we don't see any application of funding. By the time we start calling them, because we'll keep them in school for 3 years before we start now recovering the loan, the guy says, I never completed school, I'm already working. So that's the time you're trying to reunite with them so that they can start repaying the loan. Meanwhile, he's working, he has no certificate, he has not completed that school. But I sat in a place where the president said, but as long as they are working, just chase them to be able to repay the loan. Now the question is, how do I know the ones who have abandoned school so that I start chasing them straight away? Because our counter is 3 years. 3 years in school, 1 year to settle in life, not to look for a job, and then you start repaying the loan back. So how would I know that? That's the biggest problem we have with TVET. I don't know whether you might have solutions. If you have solutions, please share with us again within the contact that I shared so that we can achieve 10% growth in terms of loan recoveries. The other one is the growth in terms of partner funds that we are putting in place. We have ambitious plans on how to do this, including issuing of a green board that we are looking at, how do we go to the capital market to raise also funding just like other people raise funding in the capital market. On pillar number 3, which is innovation and digital transformation, and as I said, one of the biggest things we are trying to achieve here, in terms of this IDT, is really to arrive at digital transformation and innovation towards 90% of our uptime in terms of our systems, and also business process automation by about 28%. Remember, this is now one of the KPIs that has been put within this government agenda in regard to automation of your services to Mwananchi. And the strategic objective here is to prioritize digital transformation and innovation to improve operational efficiency, and also enhance customer experiences and drive business growth by re-engineering at about 25% of identifying technologies annually, so that we realize 90% by the end of the plan period, which is 2028. Now, that is a strategy we are going to apply so that we can be able to arrive at the fintech. In terms of our IT strategy, you can see all manner of the new things that everybody is talking about. We're increasing mobilities, bringing your own devices so that you can be able to hook on our systems. Biometric strategy, we think that will be a game changer, and particularly even in TVET or institutions of higher learning, if that can be entrenched, that will be much better. As you have heard from the Presidential Working Party, government is trying to come up with KEMIS. Now you knew NEMIS, now government is trying to come up with KEMIS, which is Kenya Education Information Management System, that will register you from early childhood education all the way to the university, so that government can keep track of where their students are actually going, or their citizens are actually going. Social media strategy is our key one, and we do quite a lot here with our students. Big data analytics, it is important to make decisions fully aware of the data that we have, the Internet of Things, the cloud technology, we are already in it, and of course, cognitive technology. So that is what we'll be doing there. And what that helps us next is we need to build a strong core system. We already have Microsoft Dynamics, and I think most of the institutions here could be using Microsoft AX, but we are upgrading that to a more versatile environment, which is Microsoft Finance and Operations. And it is out of that core system that all these other portfolios that you're seeing around will then be able to run on the core. And that will help us talk to other government services. So you can see whether it is IPRS that registers you for your ID, whether it is the Department of Immigration, we want to be hooked to them so that if you are going out of the country with a passport which is linked to, and you have our loan, then we know which country you have gone to, so that we remind you when you arrive there that you are. Then e-citizen, you're already there. Kenya Revenue, you know that's how we are now scoring our students. And also, Kenya Revenue have actually discovered something, a gem in our data. There are people who are repaying our loans, but they are not paying taxes. So you can see it's kind of a symbiotic relationship between us and KRA. NHIF, again, I don't need to emphasize, although now you have the other one which is coming in place. M-PESA, of course, is a big one for us. The Unduma number, which has now become what? Maisha number. How many of you have taken Maisha number? How many of you? There's a question I want to ask on it. How many of you have taken Maisha number? Nobody has a Maisha card? Okay. When you get it, call me, please. I'll give you my number. So we are talking, using that core system, we are able then to talk to all those other areas. Now, still on IDT, or digital innovation and digital transformation, we are looking at how to improve our ICT infrastructure. Again, innovation and business process engineering, there are areas that we're going to rethink of how we are offering those services. Digitization of services, I've already said we have done quite a bit, but we still think there is a huge room for improvement on that. Data management in terms of security of that information. As you are aware, there are several attacks that has come through in a number of government digitized services. So we want to build a very strong firewall within our systems so that it's not affected. Of course, fully aware about somebody called, there is a new sheriff in town called Office of who? Data Commissioner. And even for colleges, I emphasize that you need to comply with ONDP before she actually comes and slams you with a fine. This year they have indicated that they would want to look at the data for help in terms of compliance on data protection. So it's a big area that also TVET colleges, I encourage you to kind of look at what is happening in that area. Our last pillar is what you call our people centricity, governance, risk, and also compliance. And in this area, what we are trying to do is empowering people, embracing governance, optimizing risk and compliance, and driving organizational excellence for posterity. So it has three, because you can see it is mouthful, it has three strategic objectives. One of it is to increase employee engagement from the current 73% to about 76%. This is one of the biggest KPIs to meet, because when housing levy comes in and HR start deducting that, people think that it is HR which is deducting, and it's not a global issue. So again, that tampers with your employee engagement. But we are determined to improve our employee benefit so that they can also be part and parcel of that transformed agenda we are looking at. We want to grow people productivity. We want to do more with the few resources that we actually have, and we want to grow that by about 200 basis points annually, so that you can move from the current 30 to about 40 by the year 2028. And then finally is to maintain 100% adherence to GRC, or governance, risk, and compliance, so that we become a risk-intelligent organization by 2028. In terms of people, we have looked at where we have come from. That is the red person, which is the past. But the future is where the new person is going. So we are careful about that employee evolution, and we are putting in mechanisms in this strategic plan of how do we take care of that emerging employee of the future. For example, you can see that the past employee used to work 9 to 5, from morning to evening. Like working on a Sunday, then I shouldn't be allowed to work. The past employee is looking at corporate office, where they report in the morning. This new guy is talking about working anywhere. Even if they're in there and they can be able to work, please let them work. They want to use equipment of the office, if it is these laptops or PCs or whatever you use. This other employee is talking about bringing his own device and be allowed to use his own device, because maybe he's doing other things with that own device. The past employee is looking at the input. The future employee is looking at more of output. What am I delivering on a daily basis? The old employee is looking at sitting there and getting promotion year on year, or whatever period that he is able to get, which means according to the lander of the organization. The future employee is saying, I want to create my own lander and climb it on my own. I don't have to wait for you to tell me what to do in terms of being able to be promoted. The past employee and predefined work, the future one we are looking at is where they customize their own work. The past employee, and I hope we are not part of that, used to hold a lot of information. You don't give information to the generations which are coming. The current or the future employee is looking at how do I share that information for purposes of making the organization better. The past employee did not have a voice. The future employee is looking at how do they become a leader. The past employee relied on email. The future employee is looking at how do I get collaborative technologies. The past employee was focused on knowledge. The future employee is looking at adaptive learning, across what is emerging and what is coming out. And the past employee was looking at corporate learning and teaching, and now the future employee is looking at democratized learning and teaching. So that is what we want to support that future employee during this strategic plan. And one of the things that we'll be doing is what you call KPI, but not KPI, not key performance indicator, is how do I keep people interested? How do I keep people informed of what is happening? Like now we have brought all our stakeholders here to keep them informed of what is happening. How do I keep people involved in terms of what we are doing? And how do that's our KPI indicator for purposes of building that future employee that we are talking about. Next. So most of you, tertiary in your PCs, you have actually signed that aspect of employee productivity. And we have already set ourselves on that target in terms of improving the productivity factor by about 200 basis points every year, so that we move from the current 73.9% to about 76% by the year 2028. That's the only way you can keep people excited in terms of what they are doing. And then aligning culture and strategy. I think you have heard the statement that culture eats strategy for breakfast. I'm now told they are also eating it for lunch. So one of the key things is, so that this strategy is not eaten at breakfast, how do we align culture and this strategy? And one of the key things is performance management for our employees, which we should be able to measure and be able to report. We want to maximize on our talent. We want to empower our people in terms of the workplace, and also looking at their wellness. And that's why things like mental health and all these is something we are looking at. How do we improve that moving forward? In summary, in regard to our people centricity, we are looking at our organization culture. How do we improve it? How do we empower our people? How do we improve the performance of our people? That's the productivity I was talking about. And how do we maximize the talent? And also looking at the wellness of our employees in terms of ego works within the organization. In terms of GRC, how do we become risk intelligent within this plan period? First of all is to get audit assurance in terms of what you're doing. I talked about business continuity. In case the center fails, how do we pick up from the other periphery systems that we have? And at the end of the day, how do we become 100% compliance as we go towards the journey of risk intelligent organization? Now, for us to be able to deliver that plan then is to build what is called strategy maps. Strategy maps is like trying to get through a forest, so you are guided through the forest what you are going to achieve, how you are going to achieve that. So we measure our performance using what is called a balance scorecard. So you can see the pillars are sitting there in the balance scorecard, and then these are the key result areas for each of the pillars. So if you go to that scorecard, it talks to all these key result areas in a very subtle manner. And that is what we'll be using to be able to implement our balanced scorecard for the next 5 years during this plan period. So all the things we have actually talked, you'll find them, they will be seated in these key result areas on what we want to do in each of the pillars that have been mentioned there. Now, we cannot complete this story without thinking of how do we go corporate green. I've already talked about the work the government is doing in regard to going green. But more importantly also is that aspect of ESG, operationalization framework within the organization. But we're also thinking about our knowledge management. You can see now I'm quite old, so I need to be handing over the baton to others who are coming through. So this knowledge that I have, how do I hand it over to the others? So our whole framework is then being developed in terms of knowledge management and also as part and parcel of handing over, including, of course, but not limited to project management that is there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we are planning to do in the next 5 years. As I said again, if you have any additional points that we need to take or you think you don't appear in this strategic plan, please, I gave the contacts of how you need to send us back your input and your thought process, and we'll be able to see how we can be able to integrate some of your comments that you'll have come up with in this strategic plan 2024-2028. And I come to an end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Can we give better hands, please? All right. So we'll have a real quick security briefing. And while we wait for that, I want to ask all of us to please stand up for a second. And I will be mentioning the people who have helped us make this possible. And when I mention their names, please give them a big clap. We have the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service, COOPS. They are aligning careers. The Kenya Commercial Bank, KCB Bank, for People for Better. Rift Valley Institute of Technology, Harvest. Technology for Industrialization. SBM Bank. Equity Bank. Tveta, Kenya. The Eldoret Polytechnic. The Eldoret National Polytechnic. My apologies. The Kabete National Polytechnic. CASNEB, Be Empowered. Thika Technical Training Institute. Pride in Technology. The Cooperative Bank. We Are You. Girls First, Kenya. The Sigalagala National Polytechnic. And the Human Resource, the Institute of Human Resource Management. Are we ready? Technical team, are we ready? We're good? Just give me a thumbs up if, okay, good. So, we're going to do something real quick. Put your hands up like this. Both hands. Can you hear me without the microphone? Okay, both hands up like this. And then do this. Okay, watch me first. All right, we're good? 3, 2, 1, go. Very good energy. Now, I want you to let out that energy from your tongue as well, right? So you'll do this. So when you do this, hey, 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 okay? Let's go. Hey, hey, hey. All right, we're adding the next level. We'll add music. So let's start and then they'll add music. Are you ready, guys? All right, let's go. Hey, hey, hey. Where's the music? Is the music ready? Oh. All right. They're boring. Please sit. They let us down a big one. Security briefing.
Good morning. My name is Joshua. I'm the security manager at Lake Beneficiary Resort. I'll take you through housekeeping and security brief. Welcome to Lake Beneficiary Resort. Feel safe and secure. Our washrooms are this side, next to the pool. Ladies on my left, gents at the far right. If those washrooms are full, then you can go to the spa area. There are still some washrooms that we can use over there. Our lunch starts from 12:30, spreads to around 3. You ensure that sorry for that. During lunch hour, we usually tag the tables. All the tables are labeled. So you'll find the tables that we're doing lunch for, they'll have help. Ensure that you stick to those tables that you have been allocated. Reason being, in case of anything, and you have left your table because you saw your friend in another group and you sat with them, and then their phones or something disappears, then you'll be the first person who will be netted before anything else. It will be so embarrassing because now you'll have left your table, you'll be the new person in their table. So stick to your table, do your lunch from your table, and then you leave. This room is covered by surveillance. So in case of anything and any time, we are surveying a lot of, let me say, all the areas that we have. We have our surveillance system runs 24/7, so it's covered at any time that you do. When you are breaking out, most of the time you'll find hippos at the far end, and people will be excited to go and see the hippos as they feed the other side. We have, along the lakeshore, there's an electric fence. One is a demarcation fence, the other one is electric fence. When you're going to see the hippos, ensure that you stick by this side. We've had incidents where hippos are out, and then guys run towards the hippo, somebody wants to do a selfie, and then he jumps to the next fence, and then he wants to do a selfie, and hippos are this side. Now we start chasing the guy again. So don't, there'll be a security guy down there, he will guide you, so ensure that you stick by that. That fence is, at 6 o'clock in the evening, that fence is armed, which means it's live. That means nobody is supposed to go beyond or to the lakeshore, because we'll have closed that place and we'll have armed that fence. When you are here, ensure that you have, whatever time you are walking around all of those things, ensure that you have your belongings with you. It's not that it is not safe. It is that it will take time, if you lose something, for us to track back and get where you lost it at. But anything that is lost within our periphery, we usually recover it, 100%. But ensure that you track your things, or everything that you have it within you. At the gate, when you come in, we usually register people with their IDs. Ensure that when you're coming in also, you give your correct name. That will make it easy for us, in case there's any emergency, then we can track you from our records to know exactly the people we had in our facilities. If today an alarm is activated, it is not a drill. We'll have to vacate and go to the assembly point. We have 3 exit points, those 2 at the back and this one. Our assembly point is at the far end. Uko chini, that's where we'll assemble. So anytime you hear an alarm is activated, fire marshals will let you know, you will vacate, we'll meet at the far end. In case of any emergency, we have also first aiders and fire emergency personnel within. So you let your coordinators know, then we'll attend to you. If it is evacuating you to hospital, we'll do that. So ensure that if you feel that maybe you're not feeling well or you need our assistance, you let them know. They will come in handy and we will assist you in case of anything. In the evening, this place is not the way it is now. In the evening, Naivasha is vibrant. So, if you are moving out and you love drinking, you love consuming beer or motudo, you ensure that the places that you go to are safe places. If you are this side at night, Karagita, particularly Karagita, within that area, if you are this side, it's informal settlement. A lot of people stay there, fishermen. So within the condition up, the situation up there, it's unpredictable. Anytime, anything can happen. If you happen to go there at night, and then chaos erupts from that side, what happens? The road is blocked. So it will mean that you will have to spend in the bush. We have wild animals this side. You cannot come back this side because in the lake there are hippos, unless you are coming from Homa Bay. You can swim. If you're not coming from Homa Bay, don't attend this side at night. Be this side. We have a lot of clubs this side. Those also who love going out, if you happen to go out and you happen to love taking those things, where you are seated, if you go alone, come back alone. Okay? Don't carry takeaways. One thing that I'll assure you, you will go out, you will carry your takeaway, you will go with them wherever place that you are staying in, you will not wake up in the morning because you will have consumed rice that you did not order. By the time we are looking for you, it's maybe 10 o'clock. We are rushing you to hospital, you don't have a phone, you don't have your wallet, you have nothing. By the time you are trying to get back and get all those things, your M-Pesa is drained. Every account that you have is drained. So I would be cautious that when you're going out, if you're going in a group, stick to your group. The beautiful people you see there, those are our Naivasha people. Leave them there. Don't carry them. Stay with them there, leave them there. Leave alone. At night, this road, there's a lot of wild animals that are going to feed the other side. So when you are a person who loves night movement, by 11, ensure that you stick to your room where you are staying. Because you will meet a lot of wild animals within this area, and if you are not coming from Great Rift, you don't know how to run, then also you cannot maneuver during that time because they'll be going to feed on the other side. So you avoid this area. Again, this area at night, there's a lot of vehicle speeding because of the restaurants that we have here. So there's a lot of accidents that happen within the road. So also you avoid this road at night at all cost. If you want advice in terms of where you need to maneuver and move around, also we can assist you and let you know the best places that you can be very comfortable and you can stay around. Otherwise, within the day and within your stay here, enjoy the serenity of this area. You can move around and enjoy the scenery that we have. If there's anything that you need from us, then we'll assist you. Have a good day and God bless you.
Check, check. Thank you very much. We're well briefed. No takeouts, please. So we now have a picture of the road ahead, what the next 5 years is looking like for the Higher Education Loans Board and our partners. And now it's time to talk a bit about lending to TVET students. We'll have Mr. Kingorin Degwa, who's the head of lending at the Higher Education Loans Board, will take us through that. And then we'll proceed. If you have any questions, if you have any reflections or reactions that you'd like to, bring to our attention, the plenary, kindly just write them down, and then when we come back, we will give you an opportunity to air those. Asante sana.
Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to this event. We are excited to see the numbers. Those we invited and those we did not invite, welcome. We apologize for the hiccup, but we'll be able to take care of everyone. Our Our tagline is leaving nobody behind, so please welcome. My name is Kingori Degwa. I'm excited to have worked with you. I've visited quite a number of you in your schools, in your institutions. I've seen what you are doing, major transformation of our schools, serious learning happening, and I'm very happy to be associated with you. I'll take you through my presentation. Sorry, I think. So who are we funding? We are funding students who are doing the 3 levels, the CBET level 4, the CBET level 5, CBET level 6, which is a diploma, at the Tvet colleges. We also have students, I think, doing higher diplomas. They're also funded. But at the university level, we have also undergraduates, postgraduates, those who are doing masters and PhDs, and professional certificates. Tvet new funding model. This one I think the CEO has captured, but we have enhanced scholarships, we have enhanced tuition loan, and we have, like comrades told us, comrades last time they complained that wanapata Helb Tvet as upkeep. Hata kuna yule alisema anakuwa anapata 1,800. Sidio? Muka complain, muka tuomba tuongeze, na tukaongeza. The minimum now is, comrade mnapata gapi ya ile kidogo sana? Washa niseme, average is 15,000. Minimum is 13,000. Some get 18,000. So siyo tulimfanya vizuri? Ama mnataka tuongeze zaidi? So this one I think CEO has covered. I will not go through it. So on this one, these are the students that are eligible. Now, yesterday we had students from officers from other technical colleges and other ministries, but although they are eligible, but we are not able to fund them because of the funding. But this is people that we are funding, and specifically, I think the only thing is you must be a Kenyan, whether you have an ID or not. I think there was that issue that students without IDs are not being funded, but we are funding them. So, but the most important thing you must do for you to be funded, you must make an application for both loan and scholarship. Remember, previously the grants you are not applying, but this time you must apply. So that, and you are applying through our portal so that we can also relay that information to the State Department for Tvet for the scholarship. What are the requirements? All those, I think, maybe the only thing I needed to clarify again here is in case you are sponsored. You see, when the CEO talked about our MTI, we want to know, are you able to pay your fees? How do we know? Number 10 is very important. If you sponsored, even by an institutional sponsor or even a private sponsor, you can get, if you don't have a letter from Wings to Fry, you can get it from your principal to confirm because they can verify and attach. So it's very, very important, but these are the things, are usual things that we normally ask, nothing new. We have students who have problems with the issues of death certificates. If you don't have that, you have a burial permit. And if in the event that you are in a children's home and you don't have any one of that, then the children's home should be able to confirm that. Guarantors, the best guarantors remain your parents, but I see people struggling to get other guarantors. But if you're in college and your friends are willing to guarantee you instead of traveling home, that can also be done. Deadline has been extended for first-time applicant and continuing students. But people are not applying. Why are you not applying? Principals, registrars, deans. We have a campaign, LIPA, Carlo campaign, and we are saying pay or apply. So if you have not applied for help, and you have not paid fees, then you should be told to go home and look for fees. Yeah, because why? We have money. We are going to return it to Treasury if you don't come for it. We have, and you know, this goes also to the colleges. You also need money to, for your college to use. So why should you keep people in your school who have not paid and there's a channel to support them? People have been fearing that loans, I'm told in some regions, people will not touch loans because of the Kenya Women Finance Trust and other MFIs in the area. When they read to your parents and you don't pay, They come and take your cow, your sufurias, your mambati, your everything. So people are fearing. But for Helb, we don't do that. This is a government institution. We have mechanism of recovering money, even when you have defaulted. But we have never gone to pick anybody's items or even harass a family. So please, we will extend until the last student applies. But we hope that all of you will take the message home to make sure that everybody applies. The other one is you can apply. Kiswahili ni ngumu. Unaweza appeal loan yako. Sasa ukiappeal saizi what is happening, you are appealing to be moved from a bird that you are on to another bird. You are not necessarily saying, my loan is 25, I wanted to move to 30. No, we don't do that. So what is happening, when you apply, most likely what's going to happen, you are in bird 5, we'll move you to bird 1. What will happen, the loan will not change. Actually, it will decrease. The loan will go down to, I think, about 20%, but the scholarship will go up. So what you'll be getting from the appeal is the scholarship. So don't appeal expecting to get money coming to your account. For this year, we will only affect the scholarship alone. So that is still open. I've not seen many students from TVET colleges appealing. I think they are properly covered. We have seen more appeals coming from universities. We have encountered a number of challenges in the process of funding students. Principals, I'm told that students that were placed by COOPs, and I've done my own data analysis, only about 25%. Actually, in our analysis, only 20% reported to where they were supposed to go. Because we're able to get that from confirmations, from TVET, from the portal, and also we're able to get it from COOPs. Only 25% reported. What could be the problem? One student told me he went to a school and found it didn't have a gate. That one, he just went back. Another one told me the location of the school. So I don't know what needs to be done so that we make sure that if COOPs is placing, wherever they are taking you, that's where you go. Do you know the implication of not going where you are going and you have applied for help? We'll take the money where you told us you are placed. Now you have gone to another place. We have seen people transferring even 4 times. One student told me, you know, my boyfriend is in Eldred. Me, I was placed in Ebu. I decided to go to Eldred. So he transferred to Eldred to follow the boyfriend. Then the boyfriend, I think, Wakakosana transferred back to Meru. Then again, she also transferred to Meru. And, you know, moving like that, you think money knows where you're going. It doesn't. It creates a lot of issues with us, and we're having a lot of problems doing that. So even for COOPs, I think we'll have a discussion on how we'll control those transfers so that you do not have that freedom of moving at your own whims or at your own choice, so we can control it. Computer skills, we have also noted that most of the learners, even navigating through a simple portal is a problem. And there are many in Instagram, WhatsApp, all those, but when you take them to a computer, they can't even know where the mouse is. I don't know what's happening, but now I think this can be sorted out with the G2 labs. For those schools that have G2 labs, we've seen a lot of improvement. I think everybody who reports to a TVET needs to have some computer hours by force. On the first semester they report, so that they can also be able to pick up quickly. The students also need computers. This is issue of CBET assessment costs. I don't know who is dealing with this. I think some principals are already in here, and if there are none, we'll also be able to pick it up with Kati. CBET, you are paying 30,000 for exams. Where will a student from Laisamis get 30,000 to pay for exam? Where will the parent get the money? From Turkana. Where will that orphan get the money? Initially, when we were doing the model, we were based it on the NEC exams, and we had added 10,000 shillings. You see the fees moved from 57 to 67. That money was for exams. It was an average of 10,000, because some people are paying 15, others 4,000, so we had put it there. But now, when you transit to CBET, there is that element where you pay 10,000 shillings every term for exams. I don't know how that's going to be dealt with, and maybe Helb has also not been notified, because we could also try to do something with the resources we have. But now going forward, not the current year. I have been told that many students have finished school, but they are not able to sit for exams because of that. Trainees, undocumented institution transfers, mtu anatoka tu anaenda ile ingine. They don't even go to COOPS. So the requirement for you, if you want to transfer, let it be validated by COOPS. Even if you receive a student, validate that student with COOPS. Otherwise, it's going to be, we don't know where the student is. We'll take the money somewhere else. Inaccurate student data, nominal rolls, this is on the registrars. Registrars hapa mmeniagusha hapa. When my auditors, and I have a very serious auditor here, I think he'll greet you later. He comes to your place, he will not find 30% of the students on my list on your nominal roll, and I've paid. Are they go students? Are they what? And then we call the student, nakwambia hata niko hapa shule. What is the problem? What is the process of updating the nominal rolls, by the way? And you know, these reports go very far. When the auditor makes a report, it doesn't stop there. He takes it to a board and can go all the way to parliament. That if Helb is funding, go students. So you can imagine the struggle I have trying to convince the auditor, no, these students are there. They have applied, did your application. But utaniambia, mimi nimekuwa kwa cloud, hayuko. So nominal laws, registrars, you must find a way of becoming smart there. Next. The other one is subsequent. How do you apply for subsequent? Most of the students, when we visited TVET, are not applied. They are continuing students. And that one, you just need to go to your phone and press *642#, and you're done. It's a simple process that takes about 2 minutes, but many students have not applied. Or the other alternative, you can do the app, the Helb app, so that you can also apply. But the easiest is the USSD. You can also, we have also given you options to track your application. You can go to the app, you can go to the USSD, the portal, and also our website, and you'll be able to know the status. And I like this because I get a lot of messages from students. Mimi nimeona form yangu iko verified. This tells me they are curious, they are able to track what we are doing. Mimi nimeona pesa yangu iko disbursed, haijafika kwa account. So those are very good messages we get from students, and we encourage deans, and before you serve a student, muulize kama ameangalia kwa portal. Let him show you the screenshot. Because some of them, the money is in the account, na wanakuja kukusubua. Helb wallet, hii sasa ndio the wibo ile iko. Hata nasikia watu wamejua message ya Helb vile inalianga. Actually, almost 70% of TVET students opted to be paid by the phone, by M-Pesa. And I've actually moved about almost 4 billion through M-Pesa, but I have a big problem. Mwanafunzi anapata message ya SurePay anadelete, anasema ni scam, anadelete. Alafu anakaa ananipigia sijalipwa. Nikamwambia sinaona umelipwa kwa simu yako. Mimi sijapata M-Pesa. So they think the money will come to their normal M-Pesa. But there's a wallet called SurePay. It sends you a message that you have been added as a beneficiary, and the only thing you need to do is register again. Go back to the *642#. I think the process is here. Yeah, you just register *642#, and you'll be able to be prompted to get your money. Now, comrades, mko na simu gapi? Do you know TVET students have the highest number of numbers? Unapata mtu akona simu 5, no, line 5. Hata SIM card zingine ziko kwa wallet. Now, what has happened, which is very sad, is that hiyo line imepeanwa na Safaricom. Na wewe ndio ulituambia ulipwe nayo. Tumelipa pesa, ukaona imekuja, na badala ya kutucontact, unapiga ile simu yako ya zamani, unapigia huyu mtu. Wewe ndio ulipewa hiyo simu. Sasa kuna pesa nataka kutoa, alafu utanirudishia wewe toa tu 200, lakini urudishie ingine. We have 4 students who have done that, and the money have disappeared. And the other person switches off the phone, and that's the end of it. We have told them to report to the police. I don't know whether they were able to recover the money. So if your line has changed, please tell us. We'll change it for you. It's a 1-minute thing. We need to verify because you have to appear physically. We cannot change it on phone. But that has to happen. That is possible, and we have been doing it. On This is how you do the M-Pesa wallet. I've just said you can even download the app. We have a Helb app, or you can use USSD. These are the steps, and you'll be able to get your money. It's very secure, and we think that this is the way to go because you get your money from where you are. Even if uko kwa workshop, unasikia ting-ting ama kwa class, shida nasikia wakisikia hiyo ting-ting wanatoka class wanaenda. No, that's another problem. I think wengine they cannot stay with the money in their pocket. So this is the portal. This is where the institutions are also tracking their payments. You can get, if you have been paid, the badges will be posted here. If we allocate your students, the list will be shown here. If we pay your students, you'll be able to see it here. You'll also be required, going forward, hakuna kutuma email, no emails. You will be updating your lists here. So if you have you have students, the nominal roll, put it here. We have given the format, and we shall consume it from the portal. That one, we avoid the issues of having some lists that you cannot be able to know. Now, when we're working with TVET, we have found a few areas that we need a lot of improvement. The confirmation of trainees is still a big problem. The confirmation of courses is still a problem, it's slow. You find that some people have a course that is not in our portal. And if it's not there, the student cannot be able to apply. Ataenda, ataona course ingine na haoni yake. Allocation and disbursement of funds is always receipt. Finance officers, I'm not an accountant, but what my CFO tells me, if you receive money, you must receipt it. But people receive money, and they start celebrating, they don't receipt. And we have an email where you're supposed to send that receipt. Then some other officers, I don't know whether it's the finance officers here or it's the principal, but somebody is guilty of an offense. The money comes, you don't tell the students. Mpaka wanafunzi anamaliza shule. Anakuja Helb, the student transfers to Helb to come and complain. They use 1,200 to come and complain. And the money is there in the school. Ati nimeambiwa na nikuja niitishe batch number. Why do you need a batch number? You have all the information at your fingertips. What we have seen is that because of the transition in the universities, in the TVET, you find that the password to the portal is with the FO who left. That's very interesting. Because when somebody is leaving, those are some of the protocols you leave behind. You have been accessing the Helb portal. Where is the password? Where is the other details that are required in? Now, this is what I was saying. My auditor is finishing me because of this. Number one, and I'm going to call out a college, but not today, but next time I will. It's a college in Trans Nzoia. They know, I've already whispered to them. They receive money, and they cannot return, and because the student has not returned to them. You know, the student may not even know there is money that has come that is not theirs, or when they are graduating, they might not even know there is money remaining. Some of them, but the curious one will be able to do that. You are supposed to return that money immediately. But somebody argues, ati mwanafunzi lazima adike. But we have an MOU with you, and you have signed. So don't introduce your other rules unless there is some difficulty that needs to be communicated to us. Gaps in the Helb control account, receipting nimeongea. Control account unapata haina hata opening balance, na haina closing balance. It looks very smart. Hiyo inakuwa ni created, that's a created Helb control account. In a normal situation, any account should have an opening balance and a closing balance. But you find the one which is so balanced. Even if I find an account that has no unutilized, I get curious. How smart can this be? And most of them, these ones must be maintained in your ELP. If you don't have an ELP, no problem. You can use Excel or the other apps, other NNE that are available. Allocation, that one I've said, where people receive money and they don't communicate to the students. Actually, you should give the student a receipt. Okay, you can update their statement, but even a receipt, amelipa pesa, higawaje ni Helb imelipa. Student records missing, unapata, we don't have IDs. If a trainee is with you and have an ID, please capture that ID. Admission numbers are long, and I've also seen where students report, when you give them letters, admission, you don't give them the admission number. Some colleges do that. And so they apply for a loan, and they don't have an admission number, they give us what they call a reference number. When I go to confirm the student, I can't. When I send the money to you with that reference number, you can't update because you cannot be able to know the student. Unless now you go manually one by one. So that's an area you need to improve. Submit Helb annual returns. Their colleges up to date. I think keep Where are you at returns? About 70%? We still have about 30% or so colleges that have not submitted their annual returns. You are supposed to do that by 1st of July every year. Compliance to MOU, those are some of the issues that I've covered there. Closure of previous audit issues. If an auditor comes and makes a finding, and next time he comes there, or even I come there and it's not closed, I'm not happy. And some of those things are so easy to achieve. The purpose of audit is to make sure that you are able to account for government funds. And if government, and you know, government says, if you go to the PMF Act, it says all money by government must be audited. So we must follow and see, did the money reach the beneficiary? Imagine tunakuja kwako tunapata pesa haikufikia beneficiary. Ilienda wapi? So those are questions you need to answer. And you cannot transfer money to another student, and nor can you make a refer to a student. Communication also, you find also we have a problem with communication between ourselves and yourselves. You have a challenge, or students have a problem, nobody is telling us, until we arrive in the college, tunaambiwa, hamjalipa wanafunzi wetu. Now you know very well, we had paid all the other colleges, because we have WhatsApp groups where we update all those. So communication, effective and prompt. Help money is free. So I think, go back one slide. Okay. Go on, go ahead. Yeah. I think I've already talked about this, so I think we can move. But for data sharing here, we needed to know, mainly, let's have data that we can use. If you have IDs, and I'm going to repeat that, if you have an ID, make sure it is there. It makes us very easy to be able to update our records, to share information. If you share information and there's nothing common, it becomes manual now. Issues of communication about students who have passed on also is very important. If a student has passed on, we have an insurance cover for that loan. We need to clear it so that nobody goes to disturb the parents. So please communicate to us. A student who have deferred, communicate to us, and so on and so forth. I think I'm coming to an end. Cash ojo, we have seen students who are paying money at your appeal. You are paying money so that somebody can do an appeal for you, and they are telling you they know who is, they know Degwa of Helb, and the money will come. For the arrangements, by the way, if we ever learn that you gave somebody money, we will cancel your loan and we'll never speak to you, ever. And it's happening. Like now, we've seen a lot of forged letters for Wings to Fly, confirming that somebody was sponsored. I've seen we have done some communication to our security officers to start investigations. People are forging documents. And the person doing that for you is one person, you pay them 2,500. That's what I'm getting from the crowd. Help is free. We will never charge you anything. Actually, all the costs that you are being charged in Help, they are loaded to your loan, and you pay them when you graduate. Nothing, we shall never ask you for any money. In fact, I will be talking to COOPs, our brothers in COOPs here. We can even be, instead of charging for your placement, and COOPs, you need to give me some little money to do that. Instead of charging for placement or validation, I give you a loan. I allow you to apply for COOPs, then I pay COOPs. If that is agreeable, if we have money like that, then everybody can just apply and we charge. Yeah. So it is not it's not a decision I've made. We have not talked to COOPs. So because I'm looking at this. Do you know me? I went to a place called Saburu, and I wondered if I tell somebody there to Waba, if I tell somebody there to give 1,500 to apply for COOPs, atatoa wapi? There's nothing. It's jungle, bare jungle. But they have to pay for transfer. They have to pay for validation. That's some discussion we can have with our partners. COOPs are very flexible, and we can have that discussion. I think that is the last one. Thank you.
All right, let's give him better hands, please. He ended that presentation on a very happy note to most of you, right? So if you look at your program, we should be moving to a different presentation. on debt management. However, I know you've been sitting for long, so we'll be taking a health break. We'll take a 20-minute health break to return at just 10 minutes before midday. Before we go, please allow me to recognize the presence of David Amiani, who's senior scientist from NACOSTI. He's here with us today. Tafadhali, tumpigie makofi na tumkaribishe. We have Mr. Kelvin Ngovo, road safety officer from NTSA. We have Mr. Josiah Musili, EBS, from the Directorate of National Cohesion and Values. Karibuni sana. So, I'll see you in 20 minutes, right? This is it. Your 20 minutes begin right now. See you soon. Oh, I didn't say that tea, coffee is served right outside. Highly globalized world, competition is stifling by the second. Corporations are scrambling for the finest talent. Nations are positioning for advantage, and people fight to thrive. Education is the ultimate advantage. No, the ultimate disadvantage.
If somebody denies you education, they have denied you everything. But if somebody gives you education, they have given you everything except a ticket to heaven.
In Kenya, everything is at stake for thousands of students unable to raise money for their education. Will they become the next victims of an economic dispensation that is swallowing the unprepared?
My father passed away when I was in standard 7, so I did not have somebody that could support to further my studies. So after 18 years, when I heard the former president, Mwai Kibaki, declaring free secondary, I felt an urge to join secondary. I used to drop out of school probably 1 year to look for the upkeep of my family first.
In Kijabe, I came in 2015. So I used to work like a housekeeper. And then that's where I came now my dream to join School of Nursing. And I didn't even have any money to join the school. And the school fees was 263,800. And I used to be paid only like 12,000. So I was wondering, where will I get money?
You know, by the time I finished my secondary school education, I had a balance of almost 100,000. So I had to work so that I can pay the balance. In fact, I was working at a workshop whereby I was paid 200 shillings per day. So I used to save that money to reduce the fee balance that I had.
I had fee challenges because I had just joined KU and I was thinking of calling off my studies.
The vision to sustain and improve the historical advantage that Kenya has enjoyed over the years is fueled by continuous development of human capital. The progress of individuals like Isaac, Boaz, Samson, Callistus, and millions of others like them. The vision has, through the history of our nationhood, been shouldered by the Higher Education Loans Board, HELB, a state corporation whose mandate is to source for funds and provide loans, scholarships, and bursaries to Kenyans studying in recognized institutions of higher learning.
The vision of HELB is to be able to finance everyone that is seeking a loan to advance themselves by way of higher education.
Over the years, transition from secondary to tertiary education has greatly improved. In addition, over 1,500 TVET colleges have been established in the country over the past decade. These developments have led to increased demand for higher education finance, with government financing fully stretched.
We have a funding gap of about 4.9 billion. If actually we don't get a form of financial intervention, this year only, we are looking at about 94,000 students who have already expressed interest in terms of being funded, going without any funding for this year.
At the Higher Education Loans Board, the thought of young people missing out on education, the possibility of lives being wasted and families getting trapped in a vicious cycle, has led us to reimagine our vision of universal financing for higher education in Kenya. Since 2013, we have mobilized 1.5 billion shillings from 40 partners who share in this vision.
So we started with a small partner fund of USAID, and we were trying to get into a space that we have never been before, that is educating the healthcare workers, that is the nurses who are, work behind the doctors, because for every doctor you require about 10 nurses.
With the help of these partners, we have made it possible for over 50,000 more students to attain higher education over the past 9 years. Our resource mobilization initiatives target specific economic sectors guided by various economic policies. Some of the sectors for which we have mobilized resources include health, maritime, legal, communication, finance, engineering, and water and sanitation. In the health sector, Afya Elimu Fund was set up to increase the number of middle-level health workers in the country.
These students, once they graduate, they're available, as I've said, to provide services for health work, for the health services in some of the remote areas. Talking about the northern frontier, the coastal region where really we have had shortages for a long time in the country. And so with their presence there, it has really helped, especially when it came to COVID. We saw a demand for health workforce in some of these regions, and the pool was already available. The health workers who had graduated from Afya Elimu were already available.
In addition to Afya Elimu Fund, medical training institutions are also partnering with us, establishing funds that enable a smooth academic journey for their students.
When we started the college in 2012, we already had a problem knowing that the community we're in might not be able to access or be able to come to this college. So when we made Helb in 2014, for us it was connection the first time, and we made the details. And I remember the following year when we had our graduation, we invited them to come and we handed them a check of 1.2 million shillings. And from that humble beginning, right now we have, I would say, a portfolio with the help of about 24 million shillings, which we are hoping that in that revolving fund, it will be able to help more and more students.
We looked at ways where we can still have these economically challenged students and still meet their obligation in terms of settling the school fees, because it's needed. We have to give them and use money to train them. So we sought help with Helb, and so far, so good. So many students have benefited from the fund, and we can only look forward for a brighter future, brighter partnership.
We partnered with the Kenya Maritime Authority to set up the Maritime Education and Training Scheme, or METS Fund, a loan product covering academic, proficiency, and competency courses. Together, we are empowering a pool of local experts for the blue economy.
To achieve this national goal, we must undertake a lot of partnerships. There are government structures that have been in place, and one of the government structure under training is creation of Helb, which is handling the different capacity building in the country in different ways. And the maritime aspect was not covered under that program. So we suddenly decided that for us to support Kenyans who are willing, who have the passion, who have the drive to enter into maritime sector job and handle the maritime sector functions, then we need to create a kitty, if you call it, that people can apply for loans in those, go for training and train. Once they get jobs, just like the other part of Europe in the industry, repay that kind of loan so that it becomes available, helpful to the Kenyans.
We aspired to be able to place the blue economy where it's on self-drive, light a fire that can never be put off. And I think we are getting there. That, you know, when you begin to get to see the sector getting integrated into our national economic plans, when you begin to see programs that deliberately target to develop the sector, then you begin to see that the sky is the limit.
When Helb came, when it came for validation, Helb really helped so many people to validate their documents.
Hi, my name is Professor David Costa, and I'm here today to introduce the University of Cambria Online MBA. You can now study online and complete your MBA in as little as 1 year and graduate with an internationally recognized British degree from a university with over 100 years of history. We offer a number of specializations, including leadership and sustainability, international business, international healthcare management, and many other areas where you can focus your MBA. So why not request some more information about our online MBA program or experience how it will be like to be a student with our 2 weeks free trial program. Thank you.
Fomi Kijipa, Mimi Nani. Now it's time to get extreme ice fresh. Ukiwa fresh
really, at the end of the day, is what
engineering
determines
students
the
help
performance of the
increase
enterprise.
national
You
productivity
will have your
by
strategic
producing
plans, you will have
market-ready
your
technicians
budgets,
and
you will have the
stimulating
plan to deliver,
entrepreneurship.
but at the end of the day, by and large, it is delivered by
Formal
people on the job.
education
And so
is really
if
well
somebody
established
denies
in
you
Kenya,
education,
with
they
many
have denied you
universities
everything.
that
But if
have cropped up
somebody
all over
gives you
Kenya.
education,
Technical
they
education,
have
on the
given
other
you
hand, is
everything
not
except a
available so
ticket to
well.
heaven.
And if you go back to
In
countries like,
Kenya, everything is at
Germany
stake
and
for thousands of students
Austria,
unable to raise
taken
Finished
that
my
example
secondary school education.
and tried.
Your best, and you become the best to show also the funders that you can, and they are doing the best job also to help you.
in the finance and water and sanitation sectors. We partner with CASNEB and the Kenya Water Institute, or KEWI, respectively. The government has been pumping funds into education through counties and constituencies. These funds have mostly been distributed in the form of bursaries. However, in the absence of reliable systems of fair disbursement and transparent financial reporting, funds have been lost to inefficiencies and misappropriation, while the needs of students are not sufficiently met. To address this, various devolved units are now partnering with the Higher Education Loans Board to manage these funds, making Helb a central distribution point for education and training support to avoid duplication of effort.
We have created this fund through some legislation. So there is legislation that guides this particular fund. And we have agreed that we put in 20 million every year. We want this fund to grow up to 500 million.
We realize that some students get inadequate allocations. So if a student wanted 60,000, he's then looking at the available resources and the evaluation, the student then gets only 30 or 35,000, or even 37 for that matter. The needs of that student for accommodation, for feeding, and other books and other things is much more than that. So we thought if we could top up a little as a county through the Helb program, and that's why we have collaborated with the Helb program. Through that program, we can be able to enhance the loan available.
As counties, we don't have enough capacity, especially in assessing the needs that we have within the community. As much as we are giving bursaries to students in high school and even in colleges, we have found it a bit challenging.
Because of the budgetary constraints at the national level, the gap will always be there. Yeah, because priorities are many, especially at the national level. I realized that. That's why, as a county, we decided to bridge the gap. And I'm sure that if all counties, the 47, followed my example, then obviously that gap will be bridged. You can see Kakamega has put in 120 million. If all counties were to put in 120 million, those will be a lot of over 5 billion Kenya shillings. And if you have 5 billion at your disposal, definitely so many students, that gap, you will have bridged that gap.
We partner with corporations, trusts, and foundations in an ecosystem of shared value. ABSA, Standard Chartered Bank, Family Bank, and I&M have all helped us expand opportunities in higher education.
Each corporate, each company looks at it and say, how can I give back? How can I serve the market? Because the more you serve the market, the better your environment becomes. You know, we don't need unemployment in Kenya, and corporate world has to get involved.
The stories and experience of our beneficiaries over the past 26 years have been the building blocks of a bigger, brighter promise for generations ahead.
The main problem, I knew it was in secondary level. But the main thing that actually motivated me, through media, I used to listen to news. They were advertising for the support of Helb. I knew it was majorly in secondary. When I reach in a university or a college, I could be released, and actually it was done. So I was hopeful I could finish, however late.
I'm the first person to join college in my family, so I'm proud of it. I'm going to change the story of my family. The school has been supporting me through CHPF funds, and I applied for help. I got help 3 times now, and it has been of help to me till now.
So now, after I joined the school, I heard about help. I applied the first time. That's now where I saw light of finishing school. So I was helped by help.
The help loan imesaidia sana, sio karo tu, hata kwa mitihani. No one can defer or have an excuse of money, because help has catered everything, the entire module.
My name is Cavendish Mwangi. I live in Nairobi. I work as a product lead at Research Bookmark, and I'm currently an MBA learner at Oxford University. I chose to do an MBA because I'm at a position where I need to grasp business skills and technical skills to be able to manage my team and to propel the vision of the company that I work in, decades and decades ahead. So that's why I took an MBA. I chose an American online university over a local one because of the flexibility, being able to balance taking the course and also working. And I also chose it because of the specialist programs that I couldn't find in the local universities. And lastly, because of the diverse community of learners, being able to access learners from different parts of the world, exchanging ideas and just really helping each other out in general. The MBA course has really enabled me to morph into more of a manager and a leader who's really able to drive the team to achieve the goals that are intended and to propel the vision of the company to where it's intended to be. So it's really helped me to become the leader that I've always wanted to be for my team and to set more stronger career goals for where I'm trying to head. There's one particular skill I've really learned, especially when it comes to financial accounting and the subject of opportunity cost. It's really helped me to grasp the business side of things and really drive the product that I'm managing to sort of look at, the financial factors that actually affect it and see how I can be able to make sensible financial projections that the stakeholders can actually buy into and approve. So I'd say that is the one thing that I feel the MBA program has really helped me to understand and really grasp well. The Nexport degree has enabled me to become a better entrepreneur by being able to identify opportunities and also figure out how to scale our product beyond the local geographical markets that we are currently in, right? So the course has really, there's one part of the course where I kind of spoke about culture sensitivity, culture awareness, and that really helped me to know exactly how I can consider or tap into those factors to scale our product to different geographical markets. I chose to pursue a specialization in hyperconnectivity because I've always been fascinated by technology and just really figuring out how to connect technology and people and create systems that create a harmonized ecosystem where people and technology can interact and benefit from one another. The Next Sport community has helped me with my learning by being able to have access to a pool of individuals that are taking the courses at the same time as I am. So I'm able to tap into the resources that they actually have access to. I'm able to get assistance with my assignments, and I'm also able to leverage on any opportunities that they share in the community as well. So the Next Sport degree has helped advance my career by enabling me to take a more managerial role in the company. So I'm at a point where I'm managing the whole team, I'm driving the vision of the product, and I'm engaging with both internal and external stakeholders and participating in the major decision making of the companies. I feel like the course has really helped me to be ready to take on that new role, and I've been able to really gel into it really well. I would recommend Next Sport University to others in Kenya because 1, it's affordable, 2, it's online and self-paced, so you can be able to take it and sort of do your day-to-day work. It also has really good content in terms of learning materials that I think everyone should be able to tap into, and also having the access to a global pool of learners that you can network with and leverage on the opportunities that they share.
Kutoka Kilifi County nimeona kweli sio wengi wenye wanahitimu kwenda vyuo vikuu. Wengi unaweza pata wameachwa nyuma kusabia fees.
So we suddenly decided that for us to support Kenyans to enter into maritime sector job and handle the maritime sector functions, then we need to create a kitty, if you call it, that people can apply for loans in those, go for training and train when they get jobs, just like the other part of Europe in the industry, repay that kind of loan so that it becomes available.
Niliapply huu mwaka na kweli it has reduced the burden to parents because parents had a huge burden, huge debts. The Helb loan imesaidia sana, imesaidia hata kiupande wa sio karo tu, hata kwa mitihani. No one can defer because of or have an excuse of money because Helb has catered everything.
We're looking at a journey of not only training fresh, but also reskilling the people we have who haven't been able to get job, retooling, being able to build on the skills that they have. For example, engineering graduates, being able to convert them or giving them a conversion course that then translates into being able to work in the maritime space.
Higher Education Loans Board, empowering dreams.
Education-wise, they identified gaps that were there. And one of the gaps was actually this help, that the help that was there nationally was not adequate.
We approached help so that in addition to the help loans that were given to the students from Kakamega, how would the county government also help? We came in and we discussed and we decided to start contributing a certain amount of money every year.
We have created this fund through some legislation. So there is legislation that guides this particular fund. And we have agreed that we put in 20 million every year. We want this fund to grow up to 500 million.
I was working as a registered nurse in the emergency department. Then I felt like I should go back to school and do a specialty, of which I did it in 2019. After 10 years, graduating from a diploma course, now I was going for a higher diploma. When I came back after graduation, now they saw that I'm capable of doing it. Then I was given some responsibility to be the deputy in charge of this department.
My father passed away when I was in Standard 7, so I did not have somebody that could support to further my studies. So after 18 years, when I heard the former president, Mwai Kibaki, declaring free secondary, I felt an urge to join secondary. I used to drop out of school probably 1 year to look for the upkeep of my family first. The main thing that actually motivated me, through media, I used to listen to news. They were advertising for the support of Helb. I knew it was majorly in secondary. When I reached in a university or a college, I could be released, and actually it was done. So I was hopeful I could finish, however late.
The budgetary constraints at the national level, the gap will always be there. Yeah, because priorities are many, especially at the national level. I realize that. That's why, as a county, we decided to bridge the gap. And I'm sure that if all counties, the 47, followed my example, then obviously that gap will be bridged. You can see Kakamega has put in 120 million. If all counties were to put in 120 million, those will be a lot of over 5 billion Kenya shillings. And if you have 5 billion at your disposal, definitely so many students, that gap, you will have bridged that gap.
Higher Education Loans Board, empowering dreams. Check, check, check. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are starting in 2 minutes. Let's settle down real quick, please. Let's settle down. We are starting again in 2 minutes. I can see a few barazas out there. Please, let's walk in and start. We'll allow just about 5 minutes of a quick reflection. Check, 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 check. All right, so let's spend the next 2 minutes to reflect on what has already been covered this morning. I don't know if there is anyone who already has their hand up, and we'll get a microphone to you, who'd like to, say something, make a suggestion, comment on some of the things that we have already covered this morning? Any such person? Hands up, and we'll get you a mic. Do I have my volunteers? Check, 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 check. All right. All right, and there are desks where we already have full teams. Let me just check to see if there are any teams, for lack of a better word, in the room that had a brief reflection on the questions that we gave you. Any such teams? Any such groups? Okay, let's settle down real quick. Duncan, if you see any hands that I don't see, please let me know. All right. So who wants to go first with the questions? Please shoot up your hand and we will bring you a microphone. Duncan, I'd like us to begin from this side. To those gentlemen who are doing their homework now. Right there, right there. There you are, gentleman in white. Okay, there's a team that's ready here. Start from here. Girl power. Yes, please go ahead.
I think the dog ate our homework on the way because we didn't get the question.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, Duncan. They're saying you failed them. They didn't get any of those questions. Yeah, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. So you want to start? Who has the mic? All right, good. So I'd like us to please stand up and group ourselves in threes. Just right where you are, don't move too far. Right where you are, just group yourselves in threes. Please be upstanding. Naomba msimame. Good. And while you're standing, make sure you're in a group of three. Group yourselves in threes. I'll give you a really simple exercise. Nothing stressful. Group yourself in threes. All right? So that is done. Step one, grouping, that's done. Right? Anyone left out? Anyone missing a group? We're good? All right, so it's as simple as this. Lift your right hand like this. All of you. Like this. With a fist. Okay? There's no revolution, don't worry. and then you count loudly, like 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? And on the fourth one, you release some of your fingers. Okay? So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So you choose whichever number of fingers you want to release. But each time you release your fingers, just check within your group. If you have a total of 11 fingers out, 11 fingers free among you, if at any point you have 11 fingers free, I need you to give yourselves the biggest applause that this room will ever hear. Okay? So let's try it. Let's try it. Try with me. This is trisex, okay? We are not yet going. But watch for your group. Watch what your group is doing. Okay? We are 3 and we are trying to get a total of... No. Msiibe. I can see you. This. Okay, listen. Silence on set. Okay, order members. Order. Listen. This has to be, we will ban you. Gentleman in white, we will ban you. So this has to be purely a work of chance, okay? Are we agreed? Tuko pamoja? All right, so let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I had no applause, so no one got to 11. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. All right, listen. I can see just 2 groups made it. I'm giving you the opportunity to check. So if yours is one of those groups that got it right, the 3 people can move to different groups and try to make it work, okay? But guys, I need support here. This mic keeps going off. Just do something about it. You ready? Okay, let's go again. Fist up. Right hand. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. One group. I'm watching you. I am watching you. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nobody. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3. You know, check. Guys, check. You know, it's interesting that in this group, only 2 people had fingers freed, and somehow they were celebrating to have gotten 11. Hey, we have a problem in this country. Let's go again. You ready? Fists up. The entire group concentrating. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Nasikia tu group moja inaanza kuclap huko nyuma and then everybody claps. Or maybe you're just bad in math. And we are blaming you. Anyway, let's try one last time, okay? You ready? Fists up. Groups of 3. You ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. Please have your seats. Please have your seats. Sasa, amini usiamini. There's a group that didn't get it even once. Please, let's clap for them. I will not say who it is. All right, now that we are all here, I believe we are also ready to get some reflections on the morning session. And I don't know who is ready, which gentleman, which lady is ready to get us started with the reflections. And also, if we left you with a question, I realized that not all the tables got the questions. So if you're ready with the questions, you can also raise your hand and we will get you a microphone. So let's begin with the reflections. Hands, please. There's one here, Duncan. Another hand? There's another hand that side, Duncan. Another hand. Let me take 3. Okay. If I don't see you, please. Oh, okay. There's one at the very back. You saw them? All right. Please start.
Good afternoon.
All right, technical team, we may need someone to just check these microphones.
Good afternoon. I hope you can all hear me. My name is Eunice Kerich from Geria TTI. Reflecting on the presentations that have been made in the morning, and I'd like to begin with an appreciation for Helb, for the work they are doing in the Leave No One Behind agenda in funding education in Kenya. Secondly, I'd like to appreciate again Helb for always being responsive to recommendations and suggestions that we make for improvement, because we've seen a lot of improvement from 2013 to date, especially with regard to the use of technology to facilitate the applications. I do hope that that suggestion that was made to provide laptops for students in Tvet will be incorporated in the 2024-28 Helb plan so that our students can benefit, because this would go a long way in enabling us to also adopt the use of ODEL in Tvet, because in our attempts to try and adopt technology in Tvet, devices have been a problem, especially devices for students. So it is my recommendation that that suggestion that was made be included so that they can benefit. Secondly, leave no student behind. We still have a challenge. During the launch of, the release of the, was it the COOPS placement for 2022, we were told that funding has been delinked from placement. However, we have not seen that in implementation, because funding for scholarship is still linked to placement. Because if you're not placed by KUCCPS, then the portal does not allow you to apply for a scholarship. You can only apply for the loan. And this really is affecting many students. Degwa did say that from his own study, the COOPS placement, only 20% turn up in our institutions. It is often even much lower. In other institutions, it's lower than 20%. And so the bulk of our students who walk in to our colleges without, having been placed by COOPS do not benefit from the government scholarship. And so we are still leaving very many people behind with regard to the scholarship. My recommendation would be to fully delink placement from funding. Logically, if my data or the student applies and we, at the institutional level, are able to prove that this is our student, and they benefit from the loan. I'm wondering why it's not possible to take the next step and trust the same information and let them benefit from the scholarship without necessarily having to go through KUCCPS validation, adoption, whatever the terms may be, so that each student, once they commit themselves and apply on the system, they should be able to apply for both the scholarship and the loan, whether they were placed or they walked in. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Do you want to react at some point? Okay. Please.
Thank you. Madam, Madam, you are well covered. Anybody who has applied for a Helb loan is getting a scholarship, except the ones who had joined in May last year. Everybody. And actually the list that they are paying, we are the ones who give them. We have now given them three, Aquinas, how many lists? 3 batches? Allowed it at 3,000 students. And the number of TVET students who have applied is about 128,000. Once you confirm those ones, actually there are 10,000 students who are not being confirmed. And I'm told you are supposed to confirm by Thursday so that we forward for scholarships. So trust us, we want to back you up. So hata hiyo list ya scholarship uliona mlilipwa nayo ya kwanza hakuwa ameapply. Tuko sawa.
Right. Thank you very much. So I'll just take the 3 before we get to the session. I believe you have a microphone. Please stand up and make your submission.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon once more. My name is Onyango Stanley. I'm the student leader at the Nyeri National Polytechnic, the great. So I have a point here, about accessibility and awareness of Helb. You know, when you go to the village, back to the village, you find that most of the students don't have the knowledge about Helb. So that's the first factor that hinders their higher learning, right? So I just hope and suggest that the Helb team should have representatives across all the constituencies around, so that they can spread the gospel about the new funding model, the Helb loan, right? Because now, for example, there's a cohort which applied for the new funding model. You find that the parent is paying absolutely nothing when the student applies for Helb. So I think we should have representatives at the constituency levels to at least spread the gospel about Helb and the new funding model, right? So that we can increase the TVET and higher learning opportunities and population in our schools. Another point is about, like Mr. Ndegwa said in the morning, this issue of KUCCPS, the application fee of 1,500. I would like, I know they're flexible enough, COOPs, as said before, they'll partner with Helb so that they can apply for that loan. Ili sisi kama wanafunzi, we apply free of charge. That is the first thing that hinders us. So, another point is about greening. Greening, as we started this event in the morning, we've not planted even a tree. So I don't know how greening. We should be at the forefront by at least before starting an event, we plant a tree. I don't know whether we'll do it later.
All right, I think you'll do it later.
Later.
Yes. Yes, so we owe you one. I'll listen to that last submission. I can see the hands coming up now. I can see the hands coming up. We will have time to do a lot more in the afternoon. But please, let's just hear that one guy that we had. Do you have a microphone? Okay. Just that one. You will proceed in the afternoon. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Make
it brief, please.
I'm Mangoli W. William, a student leader at Kisiwa Technical Training Institute, that's Bungoma County. And as we've been digesting over the topics we've learned in the morning, the issue concerning the KUSIPs, which Madam has already talked about, majority of the students are not applying for the KUSIP because of the high levy that is put on the application. I think it's around 1,500. And majority of the students cannot manage to raise that amount. Kindly, if you can negotiate with the KUSIP, I know they are here, they will give us a feedback before the end of this meeting. It will really help us. Then another thing, concerning the help, it will sound better if at least all the amount should be, can be channeled to the bank or the account of the student so that he or she may pay. Kindly. It's just a blade.
My brother.
Then, okay, the reason as to why I'm raising this concern is this.
Listen, order.
The reason
Order. Okay, please allow me to moderate. Don't justify that point. I think the people have spoken. So if you have one more point, you have 30 seconds to make it.
I think it's enough for now. Thank you.
All right. We love you, though. All right? Let's give a big clap for everyone that participated. And thank you so much for your openness. Now let's come back to the meeting. The young man has agreed that he will not do that. Amekubali ni sawa. All right, now allow me to invite CPA Fritz Achola, who's the head of debt management at the Higher Education Loans Board. He will be talking to us about the loan or revolving fund. Asanteni, karibu sana.
Thank you, David. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know time has flown like that. I have a very short presentation. And as David has said, I'm the head of debt management. In other words, I'm the chief debt collector. And you know, debt collectors are not popular. We are in the same category as KRA. I think we come second after KRA. And what I'll be talking about is growing the Helb revolving fund and how you in Tvet can assist us do that, and just seeing how it has been growing. I hope the mic is okay now. You can hear me at the back. Okay, thank you. So, when it comes to what debt management does, of course, we are to recover all the matured loans. And these loans date back as far back as 1952. You might not be aware. What you might be aware is the loans from 1974 that was earlier referred to as boom. And then after that, when Helb was formed, that is in 1995, all the loans that have been granted since then. And our key mantra is to make sure that we meet our customer expectations in order to have impactful student financing. And that one actually, when you look at the theme, leaving no student behind, despite leaving no student behind, we should, whatever we give out should be impactful to the student. There's no need just giving a loan, and that loan is not impactful to the student. So the purpose of the revolving fund is whatever money comes into the revolving fund is what we use to give out to the students, and of course to give out to as many students as possible. So we'll see what the revolving fund is composed about, and maybe using the analogy of the revolving door, whatever comes in should come out to finance the students. Now, just looking at some statistics, since 1974, we've empowered the dreams of almost slightly over 1.6 million students, and this is as far back as Friday last week. And the total loan we've given so far is 166.67 billion. So in essence, that is what composes part of the Helb revolving fund. And out of that, the component that TVET students have been given, 398, almost just shy of the 400,000 mark, have been funded. TVET students have been funded. And their component, it is hidden here, it is 46.81 billion has been given to TVET students. Now, looking further at the breakdown, of that, what is mature and should be recovered is from 915,560 accounts, totaling to 125.57. The difference is the ones who are still at the university, and the TVET component of the mature loans is from 280,916 accounts, totaling to 43.22 billion. And the unmature element, the TVET accounts are 117,142, holding almost 3.6 billion. That is the ones, the students who are still at the institution, still learning, or within the grace period after they graduated. Going further to analyze the mature component, you will find that the total mature loans, as I had mentioned, those ones paying are 463,510, holding about 67.93 billion. The ones who have cleared are 242,364,000, holding 28.14. Now the pain point is the accounts that have defaulted, 209,686, holding 29.51 million. This is just a graphical illustration of the same. And the worrying point is this one, what the CEO had mentioned earlier. When it comes to the performance of the TVET loans, for the ones who are paying, the TVET component is only 39,525, that is 8.5%. The ones defaulted, you can see, is more than half. The loans that are defaulted from TVET recipients is 121,097, about 50, almost 58% of the default. And the ones that have cleared, the number is high, yes, but the figure is very low of the TVETs that have repaid, because 122,94,000 have repaid, coming to almost 50%. And this is the main of the people who have paid were those ones who got the loans earlier. I don't know why those ones who got the loans earlier paid very quickly. So overall, when it comes to the portfolio at risk, the performance at TVET is only 25%, meaning that the portfolio at risk of the TVET loans is 75%. Even if you look at the industrial benchmark, that is very, very, very high portfolio at risk, meaning the danger of losing that money is very, very high. I think I'm moving faster than the studio. Move again. Now next, just to show you the composition of the revolving fund. Of course, the largest share is the capitation from the government, the loan repayments, the interest income. As you are aware, we charge interest on the loans we've given, and that interest starts accruing from the first disbursement. We also have a component from the partnerships that we have, and then the other income, that's mainly investment income. So the contents of the revolving fund are shown here, are used to finance the disbursement of loans to students pursuing higher education. We can also include the bursaries and the scholarships in it, but those are small components at the moment until the new funding model, before the onset of the new funding model. So moving further, this is how we expect the revolving fund to grow during the planned period. The CEO took us through the planned period. So the loan component will grow as shown here. By the end of, this financial year, by the end of June, we should have given out loans totaling to 33 billion. And then the components are shown there. From that 33 billion, 27.8 billion